Welcome, welcome to Cameshiareviews. Reviews. This was a very, let's just talk about it. Ready to love, okay? We're gonna start with the beginning. Oh, she looks cute in that pink. Yes, she does. We're gonna start with the fact that they're gonna go. The friends are going to meet the person that there's their number one, or the person that they are trying to make their number one, whatever it might be. And with Joel, he brought two of his homeboys and his little sis to get to know Vanessa and to give their opinion on Miss Lady. When she first came over, I was like, okay, seems to be, So as they're talking, she just busted out and said, well, I'm territorial. And when his little sis mentioned that this is a process, because this is something that I have said over and over. Of course, I say this, and I'm not in the lady's shoes on this TV show. But what I'm saying is, they're in the process. So a part of that process is you let it be. If that person is dating somebody, getting to know somebody else, you should be doing the same thing. If you guys are meant to be two, that's going to happen no matter what. So she said she was territorial, and I can tell that rubbed her wrong way. And then she said something about, I want to get married and everything. I was like, hold on now. Hold on, mama. I feel like Vanessa is laying it on thick. And I think that in the beginning, they were right here. And then it seemed like as the show progressed and she started hanging out with him more and probably getting to know him more and liking him more, I think it went from them being like this, and this is Vanessa, to it being like this. And the problem is they are not on the same page anymore. You can feel it. That's why whenever people talk about Joel, you're like, well, you say Vanessa, but at the same time, you're like, you don't see it like you did in the beginning. At least I don't. I can't speak for everybody else. I wonder about Chris and Amber. Are they the couple that would be like Riva and Mario? Still together, still strong? Because even when they got together, they didn't think they would be together this long. And you know how they say there's always a couple on every season. Well, it didn't happen last season. But most of these shows, there's a couple, one, that end up staying together, having kids, get married, or whatever. And I wonder, is Amber and Chris going to be that couple? Just the way they look at each other, the way he looks at her, the way she looks at him. It is a natural, organic situation to me. I don't know. That's just my opinion about the two of them. It's just something about them is so light. So she went to his radio station Magic, and his friends are his co-hosts. They had lovely things to say about Amber. Lovely. They enjoyed her. I liked her answer when they asked her about if you get hangry. She said, I'll raise my voice in passion, but I won't cuss you out. I was like, I love that answer. I did. She answered and was very blunt about it, but you could tell very truthful. She was very transparent. A transparent person to me, period. I really feel like that. And his friends seem to like her very much. Lord have mercy. Let's talk about Jason. I was like, ready to love. What are y'all doing with these awkward dates? You have plenty of time to do a separate, not really a date, but get to know my friends situation. In my opinion. So, you got Jason, who has a beautiful girl in yellow, and his homeboy is there. Then you see Liz. And like, okay, Liz is coming to get to know his friends. And then now all of a sudden you see Kyra, and Kyra was like, I do feel some type of way about this. And Kyra also keeps it 100%. She was like, I wonder have they dated. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking the same thing. Like, Jason, is that your ex and y'all became best friends? I loved how Jason's friend spoke so very, very highly of him to the point where it got him so emotional later on in the show. And I could tell that it did affect him when she said 7 times, get back up. It really touched him. I can tell. I don't think he was expecting her to say that. So out of the two of them, his friends said Kyra. Because when Liz was talking, Liz was talking in the name of Jesus, he's my savior. You know, there's nothing is wrong with any of that. But they were looking at it like Jesus is right here, like, you know, like they feel like she was a little stiff, and they feel like Kyra was more his speed, his everything. So that's, I mean, look, when I tell you that Kyra and Liz was double book, baby, double book. Child, and I seen Kyra with that white on with the slit. I was like, come on, Kyra with the slit and the tennis shoes. Shoot, Liz came with them cutoff pants too. I was like, their outfits to me, I'm like, bro, I need to change up my stuff. Okay. So another different way, I guess, is when AJ and Kyra got to meet his friends. They did a volleyball. They played. And then I was like, what kind of, because then all of a sudden it was like, well, you know, it's communication. I was like, it's a communication exercise. Because, you know, with this kind of game, you do have to communicate with each other. Like, okay, baby, okay, I got it, you got it, you know. And they were communicating. He said because of that reason they lost. And I was just like, I was kind of a weird way to fit that in there. But okay, I see ya. So they lost, but it looked like they were having a good time on the stand. They did look like they were having fun. And his friends spoke very highly about him as well. And like Kyra said, there's nothing that I've learned today that I didn't know already. So Miss Kyra is whisked away by Jason, and you see rose petals on the ground, champagne with Queen on the bottom. I was like, okay, Jason. I had to give him that slow version of that. So yes, rose petals. He's like, look, I want to be able that man to take care of my woman, reserve me for her, massage her feet, massage her body, bathe her from the top of her head. You know, I was like, oh, okay. He's serious. He said he's feeling Kyra. But it seems like everybody's feeling Kyra. Why do I feel like the Brady Bunch was like, Marsha? They're just saying, Kyra. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna chill. I haven't had much sleep, y'all, so y'all have to forgive me on this, okay? I'm just not all the way. There were some things that was said in the men's lounge that I really want to get into a bit. Why did I feel like the men were a bit shady on this episode? I don't know if I want to say shady or a little bit. They gave it to him, a little bit done. Like, I'm over it. That's what I was getting. That's what they was giving me. Okay, this is me. So, they all spoke about the ladies, and they all had things to say about it. Okay? Now, going around the room, Tommy was being like straight up like, yeah, forgive me if this fan comes on. I'm trying not to make it too loud, but it's a little warm out here, and I got this light in my face. So anyway, So Tommy is going around the room. They drinking, having a good time. And each person is talking. It seemed like in this lounge, the men that we saw in the beginning and maybe even the middle are now gone. I don't know. Okay. When they were bringing up the ladies that they were not really feeling, Chrysanthemum's name came up. I figured Chris, because of the date and how it, was a little awkward or whatever, I figured he would be the one that said something. That was normal to me. The part that I tripped out on is that I didn't hear Ron and AJ speak up for Chrysanthemum. All I heard them say is, when I try to call and text her, she don't answer. I'm like, for one, why didn't you speak up for her, Ron? I mean, he said a little something like, he did say something like, I don't have a problem with her or whatever. But you say that. But when it came to the voting, you kind of moved to the side and let the other men decide. Now, I might be wrong about that. But I think Ron was just like, how Ron do that dance? He was doing it, whatever. He probably was like, ooh, I'm going to let y'all take that. And AJ didn't say anything. But you the guys I thought were really, liking her. And like I said, Ron was talking a lot of smoke because of the fact that Chrysanthemum was one of the ones in the pool of the bottom, I call it. But I was saying to myself, you saying talking noise, you talk a lot of noise you talk a lot of noise in the confessions. Talking about, oh well, because Chrysanthemum and you didn't have a good day. Talking about Chris. That's why you're doing it. I'm saying to myself, it may or may not be true. And he talking about you are Brook Brothers and all that. I'm like, what's all the smoke for Chris? First of all, where's the smoke coming from, Ron? You had a little smoke in you. If we want to keep it real, we flash back to the very first time when everybody was like, oh, hey, KG. You was like, I think he got advantage over all of us. Yada, yada, yada. Interesting. Thing about it is, you can't talk a lot of noise like that, but then it came down to it, you didn't really want to say it, but you just said a little tidbit like, oh, we cool. She vibe with me. I'll know it, y'all, But the shock of the night in the lounge. Well, for one, when they asked, wait, did Ron say Kyra too? I don't think David said anything, but AJ said Kyra. You know what? They all did say Kyra. I don't think David really said anything, but they all said Kyra except for Chris. And Joelle said Kyra. Baby, here is the tea. And I want to play it. I'm going to play it my own. You ain't be tripping. The tea is this. Joelle said something had been going on between them anyway. And that's the gray area I told you guys about. And on let us see a little bit of the gray area. When he said, we talk we talk outside of this and between whatever, and we had a conversation, and he felt some type of way about the conversation. He said he feel like she's controlling, and he just he ain't for sure. So when Tommy said you had to go home with somebody right now, and Joelle said Kyra, I was like, Kyra who? Did they call Vanessa Kyra on the side? Is that a nickname? What's happening? So he said the one he had the best conversation with, he picked Kyra. And he said that, Vanessa been tripping, I guess, in his eyes. Whatever happened behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure it'll be brought up at the reunion. We'll hear about it. He didn't go into detail. But whatever was said, he didn't like it. Jason was feeling the way. Jason was like, well, dang, I just did some rose petals and champagne and we done vibed. And speaking of that, when he brought Kyra and had the roses and everything, to me, I feel like Jason chose Kyra at that moment. When Liz left and his friends gave him their information, at that moment, Jason decided Kyra's the one. So I felt like he was like, well, she don't know it. She the one, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these roses of champagne and all these things. And they, his friend had a gallery they shut down just for them two. Real nice, romantic. And so when they're sitting down together, and I was like, he must be a kisser, because when he did this whole turn to lean, and she was gonna do the cheek, and he said, I ain't gonna lie. And y'all ladies probably gonna be like, nah. But when he said, why did I think that was sexy though? I don't know why. When she was gonna turn, because when Kyra and Jason was sitting down, and it was a very obvious kiss scene or moment or whatever. And when Kyra kind of turned her cheek, and he said, she said, you ain't gonna let me get away with that. I was like, ooh, look, tell me what to do. Okay. I don't want to give up too much of my tea. But I did like that. Anyway, because it wasn't as awkward as the Liz kiss. So getting back to the lounge, I was surprised to hear that Liz was on the bottom, but I think I may have said this before, that the least connection that you have with people in the house, the chances are, no matter how much you're liked or how good you look, you will be a part of the elimination crew. Because when it come down to it, Jason was the only other one she was interested in, but she spent majority of her time interested in David. And David, I'm gonna say this about David. Something's not right, because see, David said he doesn't want to feel rushed, and I understand that and I respect that. But he says he doesn't want to feel rushed, and so he's not. He can't decide. And Liz is looking at it like, if you like me or not. I mean, how long will it take you to decide what you know? And I'm gonna tell you something about David. David, look. It was the kiss. Liz respectfully called David. She didn't have to do that, and told David about the kiss. He made a point of saying it in the lounge. I can't lie. I felt some type of way. Maybe did he say it? Did he say it to us? I don't know. But it was said. So he felt some type of way about that kiss. Just like Vanessa felt some type of way about that kiss on the cheek, like I knew. In the process like this, yes, your feelings are going to be involved, and they're probably going to get in the way. But to get to know somebody, people don't understand this. You have to date other people, and it's probably going to be in your face. I say if a man is dating 3 or 4 different women, a woman's dating 4 or 5 different men or whatever, and they all know about it, and whether they have doing something intimate or not, the openness keeps the drama down, and also it keeps you open to a possibility of maybe out of these people, one person is close to what you actually need in your life. When people say trust the process, you have to go through a process of everything. You can't rush it. You can't stop in the middle because you don't like how I feel. You don't like how I look. You don't like what they said. That's not how any process goes. You got to go through it. Then at the very end, you decide, or you see what happens, or whatever. So David, to me, was not trying to save Liz, and that is evident from the next scene I mean, the next scenes from the next episode where he's telling her he wants to leave and Liz is saying no. I think Liz is feeling David a lot more than David is feeling Liz. So when the men say we put our stuff out there more than the women, no, the women that put themselves out there more than you, because Venetia is super feeling Joel and Liz is super feeling David, and I don't think you guys are. I don't. The one that I think is really putting their heart out there, I would say KG is. I say KG is. I think Amber is trusting the process. I think that Kyra and Miss Alexis. Hold up. Let's get the whole Alexis and Ron and the Chrysanthemum situation. Of course, they're meeting friends, right? Look, I love all of them. But y'all know I keep it 100% a stack, a whole stack, and maybe then some. Okay. So when Ron was, I want to ask Ron, what is this? Is this like a, I don't know. Even though he was having a good time. He was dancing and him and Chrysanthemum sitting down. She had her hand on his knee. And then she was like, oh, I know you like that. And da. Flash to Alexis. All you hear is, what does she have on? I was like, you were to meet the friends, family? I was like, oh my God. Alexis. Look, it's been a minute time. Aunties and family and aunties see you going somewhere. You wearing that to go see such and such? Have a good time. You go in chain clothes. Right? Happened to many of us many times. You wearing that? Oh, okay. So when she said it brought me immediately to that time period in my life or whatever, or what I've seen, or maybe what I've even said to people who are younger than me, like, what you wearing? What is that? Where you going? What venue that you need to wear this, you know? Because Shantha's a very beautiful woman, and I just think that she's a carefree, spirit. For them to say she doesn't want a relationship, but that's a bit harsh. Somebody can be carefree spirited, want to have fun, and still want to find love. I don't think you should equate it as going to the club. If someone wants to fly on jets and planes and live a lavish life, can still be in love and do all these things. Just like Liz, who hadn't been in a relationship, I think you should not judge a person by their past or what you think they are. They all said she don't want a relationship. Why would she be on a dating show? Why would she be on a dating show if she did not want a relationship? I'm just trying to understand that. So, on the date, Chrysanthemum ended up leaving. Now, I know Liz have a couple of hers because of the fact she was double booked. But Chrysanthemum ended up leaving, and Alexa just shined like a diamond. Don't forget who your number one is, okay? Like she got a banner outside. Don't forget who your number one is. My name is Alexis Fly. I'm number one. Huh? You me tell you again? I'm number one. Let me stop. I'm over here tripping. So Chrysanthemum went home. They talked to Liz and they spoke to Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum ended up going home and she was not happy, and she said she wanted to find out who did, because she said, out of AJ and Ron, why nobody didn't save me? So baby, let me tell you something. That's gonna be an explosive boom when the reunion drops. And I mean after the reunion drops. It's gonna be so much. I think tea gonna be getting poured everywhere. And your girl gonna be right here in it. What had happened? No, I'm just kidding. kind of. Anyway, good episode. We dug a little deep here. I took my time because I wanted to talk to you guys. I know y'all be in the chat when I'm doing these premieres. I wanted to take my time with this one because I think the men was, I don't know what happened today. Y'all wasn't taking nothing today. I don't know what's going on with David and Liz. That is a little bit cold as ice. Joelle, I feel like I'm kind of getting afraid, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you remember the point of Ready to Love last year when Joy lost her family member? It seemed like after that they're dropping like flies. Jay left. Then I think Edwin left, and like all within the same couple of days. And it just, they were down to like 2 couples, and then part of the reason they were saying, well, I'm not feeling anybody anyway, I'm gone. So I'm kind of getting scared. Don't tell me that Amber and KG and Jason and Kyra are literally the only couples, because of I know Lexus has well, I guess you say Ron. Is that it? So if you want to break it down like that, honestly, because at this point they're like Tommy say, they passed the halfway point. Feelings are involved now, and at this point, Joelle, David, AJ, to me, are on the chopping block. Now, if AJ gets it good, back and good with Alexis or Kyra, he might be still in there. I think AJ just does something to stay in the moment. I'm gonna go home. Do. You know you love me, girl. And all of a sudden they keep him. That's my prediction for next week, though. I know that David and Liz gonna have some stuff gonna happen. Now the women are in power next week, so I feel like that Joelle, David, AJ, you in trouble. Anyway, that's all, folks.